is Ashley from Notjustboxing here with Lewie Edmondson. Lewie, you're now the champ. Before we talk about this fight, I just want to talk about the Dan Azeez fight because I haven't spoken to you, mate. How was it to beat Dan Azeez, first of all, someone that you know is a very good opponent?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great win, and yeah, it's been unbelievable. My boxing career's took a turn in a good way ever since that fight, and yeah, Dan's a very good fighter, very experienced, former British champion, former European champion, highly rated with some great wins, Rocky Fielding, Hosea Burton. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with it, very, very happy, pleased.
So obviously you went through a lot of tests, and we were just chatting about off camera, when you've sparred him, he comes on in the later rounds. So there was a lot of questions that you had to answer in yourself, which you ticked off that night.
100%. I mean, what people are forgetting is I only had one 8-rounder before that fight. So I only had 6-rounders, one 8-rounder, then into a 12-round title fight with a seasoned vet like Dan Azeez, who is known for draining people's energy and getting on people late and stopping them. So we knew Dan's got a great tank. I sparred him plenty of times, and he's always come on strong in the later rounds. So we knew that was going to be their game plan, just to push on late. And after round 6, when I've watched it back, Martin Bowers was telling him this is where the fight changes now. We was prepared for that for many, like, not just for Dan, because it wasn't a much notice, but we was prepared for that scenario to occur many months or years before that, preparing.
So how did you prep for those extra 4 rounds, knowing that it would be strong? Was you in sparring, for example, doing 6 rounds and then doing 6 harder rounds with fresh people?
No, I mean, we was preparing for Ben Whittaker. We signed the contract to fight Ben Whittaker in Saudi when Liam Cameron fought him. So we was out in Marbella anyway, preparing for him, sparring Willie Hutchinson. Yeah, so we was out there preparing. That fight fell through, it was mad, but yeah, that fight fell through. And then, obviously we was promised that fight was definitely happening, we was made a lot of false promises. So when that fight fell through, then they said, well, if you're that upset or whatever, yeah, I'll fight Dan Azeez. We said, all right, no problem.
Did they say that thinking he'd beat you?
Of course, we was in the away corner. That's what everyone's forgetting.
I know, but like obviously at that time they were just overlooking you.
I don't know if they thought we would take it or not, and it was meant to be a 10-rounder. It was all agreed 10 rounds, and then a couple of weeks out they're saying, 12 rounds, this, that, the belts have to be on the line. That didn't suit us. We only done one 8-rounder. That didn't suit us. That all suited Dan. So it was in the away corner in a fight that suited him, making championship weight for the first time. And then to go out and pull out the win. I'm very happy with it. And obviously this is what a lot of people forget. People don't know boxing. And they just say, it was a close fight, and some people think he won. I've watched it back plenty of times. He didn't think he won. I definitely won that fight. And I played my cards right in a fight like that, which I done well.
Yeah, and just to take that test with all of those things, knowing it, people don't understand the jeopardy you're putting yourself in. Of course you back yourself, but you could have very easily have took a different route. So, people don't realise that there's many fighters out there turning down fights like this constantly. And I actually know a few of them, I won't say names, but they're not even chosen by promoters now because they've turned down so many fights. So for you to take that after being let down with Ben Whittaker, it just shows what type of fighter you are.
I mean, we had everything against us. Experience, the weight we never made before, the rounds. Everything was against us. First title fight was in the away corner, and we come out with a win. And I mean, there's a lot of fighters that got offered this fight to fight me for this Saturday, and they all turned it down. I'm not going to go into no names, but there's about 10 or 12 names that said no. So it's like, people can say whatever they want, but real fighters, they know. Everyone's around the gyms and everyone knows the situation, and yeah, I'm very happy with it.
And you are arguably in one of the best divisions in boxing. We spoke about it last time briefly. I just want to talk about the weekend. I know you watched some of the fights. So Josh Boatsi, Callum Smith was an absolute war.
Great fight.
Great fight. Did you expect Smith to fight like that, and did you expect him to get the win?
I mean, I always thought it was going to be a war because they both like to fight on the inside and both quite to go for it. Did I think Callum Smith was going to win? No. Did I want him to win? Yes. Was I cheering at the TV for him? Yes. Listen, it was a great fight, great for the fans. I'd probably say one of the best fights I've ever watched. It was a great fight to watch. I don't think skill-wise, obviously there's been a lot higher level out there, but as a boxing fan, it was great. It was back and forth, both of them getting hurt. And
the ebbs and flows, when it like just as you thought they were down and out, they'd just come back with a combination themselves.
And that's what people pay good money to see. Me personally, I think they're taking a lot of shots, both of them. I think it's going to take a little bit out of you. Fights like that take a little bit out of you. And but great fight to watch.
Would you want to see them rematch whilst the world title belts are sort of being held hostage for a trilogy?
I would like to watch it, but I'm not sure their families do, because they're both taking a lot of damage, so it's one of them.
Yeah, I can imagine it's a tough watch when you've got those personal connections.
100%.
And even just seeing Team Buatsi after a bit bummed, like Callum went straight to the hospital, and people don't see that side of boxing.
Yeah.
You know, you all sit there cheering at the telly, watching a great fight, and then you got the aftermath now.
People sat there with packets of crisps, eating chocolates, barking orders. You should have done this, you should have done that. Meanwhile, they've got diabetes because they can't stop eating. It's crazy.
And I just want to talk to you about the main event. Obviously, Better Be a Bivol 2. That's the best fight I've seen live. When you look at those guys, are they obviously they're the pinnacle of boxing right now?
Yeah.
What do you see in them? Do you also study them when you're training?
Yeah, of course, 100%. My coach Jacob, he does a lot of study as well, so he's always studying with us, and we're doing a lot of studying these things that a lot of these people are not looking into. And I think it's very key, because a lot of these people just fight, that's it, punches, that's it. Like, there's a lot more. The punches, everybody throws the same punches. It's there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, and what would you say from that fight you took away as a boxer?
It was just unbelievable. It was a great fight, and both of them doing a lot of good stuff.
Do you think the right man won?
Yeah, 100%. I think he worked. It was a little bit harder, and he wanted it a little bit more.
So lastly, let's talk about your fight this weekend. You're fighting against a very tough Nigerian fella. Seems like he either knocks people out or gets knocked out, from what I understand.
Well, he's 11-0 with 5 KOs, so he hasn't been knocked out yet.
Yeah, but I have heard from people a little bit chinny, maybe. Apparently got dropped twice in his last fight.
Listen, we'll see. I've seen him be wobbled a few times. Then I've seen fights where he tries to stay away from specific shots. I've seen he likes to go certain ways he doesn't like to go. So, who knows? Who knows?
And how would you rate him compared to Dan Azeez?
Listen, we haven't seen this fellow in a fight like that. He's not fought anybody, so how can we even talk about him in the same bracket? I believe. Who knows? Maybe not.
That's the beauty of boxing, though.
Listen, who knows? But he's not proven. He's been wobbled a couple of times, and he's beat nobody. So listen, we'll see. We'll see.
And obviously, this is the South Coast fight night. This is something that we haven't really seen. Have you found it a lot easier this time as well to get all your fans to come down?
Mate, I do quite a few tickets anyway, regardless, no matter where I'm in the country. They stick with me, and I've got a good fan base, so it doesn't really matter. But it's nice to have one local, nice and easy.
Brilliant. Well, I wish you all the best on Saturday night.
Nice one, Ash. Thank you for your time, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.